To continue with the day, we have Dr. A. Karthalingam to enlighten us on the topic Nanomaterials in Biosensing. Dr. Karthalingam is an associate professor at Millimeter Wave Innovation Center, Research Center, Dongkok University, South Korea. He obtained his PhD from Arhapa University and he has a professional experience of 31 years. He secured funding from DST, DBT, Government of India. He is also a life member of various professional body membership. He has published several research and review articles and book chapters in a reputed international journals. We are awaiting to listen your inspiring words, sir. Here comes Dr. A. Karthalingam. Over to you, sir.
Just good evening to you all, and also I welcome you all, and also thank you for the organizers for giving me this great opportunity to share my thoughts to everyone. In this small presentation, just I am going to throw some light on nanomaterials and its use in biosensors.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you for your presence in BioYojana 2021. It is very proud to us for your participation. Is a very big thing for us. Thank you, Doctor. Thank you for you.
Yeah, okay. Let me start.
Yeah, you can start now, Doctor.
Yeah, just we are in an era, everything is atomized, and also we are more concerned about the health. In this case, the sensor is playing very much role. So that's what I selected, even though I am not directly belong to the biosensors. Since this seminar is based on the bio area, I selected this topic. In the first slide itself, we may wonder why I am showing this. Just in order to show how we have improved. Just you see a small computer. It is not a full-fledged computer. It was designed in the year 1946. It was only numerical calculator. Even this calculator itself occupied a huge area, even a room size area. But later on, it was reduced in size. And finally, we obtained a small, we have a small handset. This small handset can do wonders. Everything in our fingertips, we can get it everything. And also, it is not useful for younger, old aged persons or human beings alone. But other guys are also enjoying it, using it. This is how it improved. Only communication and the computer field is improved. This we should know why, how we improved this. But in this case, you see everything, every device, every electronic device, any other what kind of a device, whatever it may be, but all depends only the storage density and its processing speed. But in this case here, in case of storage, we used in some gramophone disk and others. In this case, if we see the storage, it was very less. Even 200 MB or around 500 MB only we can store it in a small single disk. But it was reduced. Size was reduced, but whereas the density is increased. Even in a flash drive and others, you see here the very smaller can store even terabytes of data. It is wonder the size is reduced, but at the same time the density is increased. How? Suppose if you want to store a high volume, we need more space. But here you see our density is increasing, but the space is reduced. But this is a wonder. We should know why, how. But this is only because of it is a wonder of nanotechnology. Nanotechnology means just how we are using the material in nano level and how we are utilizing it. This is what nanotechnology. Therefore, this nanotechnology is used in all other fields, even right from electronics, optics, nanomedicine, and all other, including medical and environmental analysis, food, health, biosensors, in all other field it is used. These are all only depending upon nanomaterials. Therefore, in this case, if you want to improve it, if you want to increase its efficiency still, we have to know the nanomaterial, nanostructures, what is the nanomaterial, how it is functioning, what is its structure, everything. It's a development, that is the various fields of developments, it depends on nanostructured materials. The nanostructured materials can be any form, even it may be organic, inorganic, or any other biomaterials, microfluidic structures like this. Even combination of it, composites. Among these here, there are different nanomaterials. One is like quantum dots and plasmonic nanostructures. These are all showing some of the interesting phenomena, some new unique properties. This is what may be used fruitfully, usefully in all other devices. Among the various applications, the nanomaterials have high potential for biosensors also, because of their unique chemical and electronic, optical and physical characteristics. They can provide strong and stable sensing activity with a short response. This is the advantage. Therefore, even its efficiency is high, but a very short period you can have it. Nowadays, you see, nowadays everywhere, even if you are walking or if you are running, everywhere, even you can monitor your all other activities, even pressure, everything you can be monitored online. And these are only depending upon the devices, biosensing devices. Like this, it is used in clinical diagnostics, protein engineering, and the detection of cancer, bacteria, pathogens, toxic metabolites. Even though still it needs developments in reduction limit, stability, reproducibility, and to commercialize it. There are so many reports, so many results are available, but they have not come out yet as a device, full-fledged commercialized devices. But still they need some more studies. In case of nanomaterials, what are they called as nanomaterials? Depending upon the size, based on the size we are classifying them. In case of biomaterials like bacteria, its size is totally, if a material of its size is in between 1 and 100 nanometer, they are only called as nanomaterials or nanoparticles, and so on, something we can call it. For example, just I am showing here some of the dimensions. If we consider atom of its size may be around 1.1 nanometer, let it be 1 nanometer, and a virus, if its size may be around 100 nanometer. If any material in this range, we can call them as nanomaterials. Suppose nowadays some of the question is also arised, the coronavirus, of its size may be around 100 or even maybe lesser. If we are using some fiber with a micro pore size, how can we control it? This is what people are talking about. Even mask alone cannot control this. Therefore, we have to keep some distance and other things, the care we have to take. In case of nanostructured materials, as I told earlier, they are all unique. They can show some of the different phenomena, not like other bulk materials. Its size is, as I told, there are in between 1 and 100 nanometer scale. They are only called as nanostructures or nanoparticles. And also, there are some physical phenomena differentiating them. Instead of bulk, if you are considering them as a nanostructured material, they can be in a different status, different types. They call it as, first, for example, first you see bulk material. This is what we call it as three-dimensional material. Here in this case, everywhere, if a material or if whatever it may be in any device, in the electron is playing major role. The electron activity, electron movement, everything is only main cause for the activity of the device. Therefore, the electron motion and electron is to be considered. In this case, if the material is bulk, the electron can move anywhere, any direction freely. This is what we call it as the electron in the bulk material, three-dimensional material, has 3 degrees of freedom, whereas its confinement is only 0. it is not restricted in any direction. This is what we call it as bulk material. Like this, there are another materials, that is quantum well. Quantum well, it is like a thin layer, nano layers. Here the electron is confined in one direction. Suppose if we consider a person, a man standing in between the walls, he can able to only move only in two directions, either x and y direction. He cannot move z direction. This is how the electron is also behaving in a nano layers. This is what we call it as quantum well. Like this, another one is quantum wire. It is one dimensional material. That is nanorod or nanotubes. It has only one degrees of freedom. It can move only one direction, either x or in either y and z direction. But it has a confinement another two directions. Like this, another one is a quantum dot. It is a very peculiar material. In this case, the electron means it has to move. Otherwise, it has to oscillate, vibrate. It has to move. But here, the electron don't have any chance to move any direction. This is what we call it as 0 degrees of freedom. Degrees of confinement is 3. Just to consider a person trapped in a cage, even he cannot move the body. That means, think of his status. Like this, the electron can behave peculiarly, in this case, quantum dots. This is the quantum dot is playing major role in all other devices. And also another one advantage of the nanomaterials, as being a nanostructured material, its surface area is increased. In all other devices, whatever may be biosensor and other devices, its interaction with ambient, its interaction with its surroundings is only gives its effect, its result. Therefore, if you are going to increase the surface area, totally its performance will be more. Therefore, instead of being a bulk, just like a whole ball, if you split it as a number of balls, the total surface area, absorbing surface area will be more. So that automatically its efficiency can be improved. This is how, if we make it as a like a nanostructured form, there are large number of pores, so that area is increased. It is one of the advantage of nanomaterials. And also another one advantage is, suppose if you make it as a nanostructured material, even a single material can behave differently, can show different natures, different forms. It is another advantage of nanomaterials. For example, I have taken only carbon here. Carbon is a very peculiar material. Everywhere in every sensor we are using it. The carbon itself can act as can be in different forms, different properties. For example, you see here the graphite. It is also a carbon form, but it is a conductor, very soft. Similarly, the diamond is also made of carbon, but it is insulator, very hard and also very precious material, we may be knowing. Like this, buckyballs. It is a ball-like structure of carbon. And also another one main thing is, it is a hollow sphere known as Buckminster Fullerene. It is the name of the scientist who invented. This ball has 20 hexagons and 12 pentagons, just like similar to a soccer ball. It is a wonder how it is formed. Why it has why the soccer ball is also formed like this. So it itself showing some of the advantages. And also within this, there is a hollow sphere. We can trap anything and we can use it. And also another one is carbon nanotubes. Nanotube, it is just one-dimensional structure, only one-dimensional structure, that is a tube or rod. It is also used. It is a one-dimensional. It is also used in so many cases. Like this, another one is graphene. Graphene is the two-dimensional one, very very thin layer. Another one is graphene quantum dots. Graphene also can be made as a quantum dots. It is zero-dimensional. And also another one thing is, even the graphene itself, the carbon itself, can be made as a foam. Therefore, you see a single carbon itself is in different forms. Depending upon the methods, the process, we can modify it. Depending upon the shape and the size, its property is also varying. So, single material, single element can be used in so many cases. We can use it. And also because of its uniqueness, because of its properties, the nanomaterials are used in all other fields. We cannot say which field is not used. Even from kitchen to missile or even satellite, we can use it. For example, I have shown here for electronic in all other case, like semiconductor field, quantum computing. In all other case, we are everywhere. Whatever be the device, everywhere we are using materials. If the material is in nano dimension, its advantage is more. It is the main thing. Like this energy. In energy, there are so many devices, energy storage devices, energy conversion devices. In all other cases, nanomaterials are used. Like this, other even like even a smaller window pan itself can be made to act accordingly. Suppose if you want to cool, the window pan itself can be made. It can make the room cool. And if you want hotness, the window. This is how, depending upon the case, we can frame. And also it is used in medical field. Medical field in all other case, even diagnostic devices, sensors, drug delivery, therapy, in all other case, the nanomaterials can be used. Among these, biosensor is one of the thing. Therefore, everywhere we have to sense. If you are, this is what we call it as imaging or analysis. For every case, biosensor is used. Biosensors are used in large number of applications, such as in clinical diagnosis, protein engineering, and the detection of cancer, bacteria, pathogens. In all other, like this, in all other cases, biosensors are used. Though there are large number of works, its commercialization or its fruitfulness is very less nowadays, because its efficiency, its usefulness depends only the transducer materials. Therefore, still some research is going on to improve its efficiencies. For even for a case UCR, the glucometer and others, there are so many instruments, so many meters, but we cannot believe which one gives the correct exact value. But even the sugar level is varying from country to country. So the standard high efficient material is to be produced. In this case, nano-structured material should be analyzed. A biosensor is an integrated analytical device that can specifically and rapidly provide quantitative and semi-quantitative information using a biological recognition element. There is some recognition element. Using this, we can sense the changes, and we can, using the transducer, we can get some output. Mainly in case of a biosensor, it should have 4 parts. One is bioreceptor. Bioreceptor, it first sense the changes, biological changes in the body or in the system. And another one is the transducer. The transducer converts the biosignal to some observable signal like current or volt or anything else. It is a transducer, just to change one form of energy into another form. This is what we call it as a transducer. Another one is signal processor for converting. The signal may be very weak, very less. The signal is to be converted. For this, some other electronic device we have to use here. Another one, final one, is a display. What kind of a display we want to use? Suppose we want only digital display unit we can use, or otherwise some imaging like device display. Therefore, depending upon the display, what we want, we can design it. Therefore, mainly 4 components. In the 4, the nanomaterials are mainly playing in the first 2 cases. That is a receptor, bioreceptor. Bioreceptor also, here some biomolecules and some biomaterials are also used combinedly. And combined with the transducer, the nanomaterial can be used for both the purpose. Some biological molecules can be immobilized. The immobilized biological molecule can act as a sensor, receptor. Then the inorganic nanoparticle can act as a transducer. Therefore, combinedly they can sense and transmit the signal. Therefore, as I told earlier, here in this case, nanostructured materials are very useful because its surface to volume ratio, as is old, the surface area is very high. So, and also there are so many advantages like chemical activity, mechanical strength, electrocatalytic properties. Instead of using ordinary only biomaterials, if we are going to use nanostructured inorganic combined materials, we can have so many advantages. Now, in this case, mainly some inorganic materials like gold, silver, nickel, and some oxide materials, and also carbon materials are also used for this purpose. Here, depending upon our case, we can tune it. We can tune the properties. Suppose if we want to have size, the size we can modify it. What kind of size, depending upon the target. We have to tune the particle size and some of the properties. This also can be easily done. Besides this, they can be used to obtain enhanced immobilization. The biological molecular immobilization is also one of the main property, but depending upon the case, not all the inorganic particles cannot be used for immobilization of biological molecules. Therefore, depending upon the case, in this case also we have to select. Not only this, biosensors are not only used for medical purpose. These biosensors can also be used for monitoring the environmental, air pollution, water, soil, and water pollutions also. And also, it is used in all other cases, food, body fluids. For all other case, we are using biosensors.